While Octopath Traveler and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker are currently occupying most of our Switch time, I want to take a moment to discuss a different type of Nintendo topic, and that would be forced positivity on YouTube, or maybe perceived forced positivity is a better way to put it. It's a complaint that's been levied against our channel a number of times that we have some sort of Nintendo bias, that we have a Switch bias, that as long as it's coming out on our favorite hybrid platform, we're going to give it rave reviews. And frankly, it's something I see levied against a number of Nintendo channels, and it seems to be heavier when it comes to Nintendo-specific channels than it does other platforms or other genres. And I think there's a number of reasons here, and it's something that I definitely want to discuss with you because I think it's an important YouTube community, gaming, and Nintendo topic. So definitely watch the video, hear my thoughts, and then let me know yours in the comments down below. Any ideas you have of how this could be better handled or what you'd like to see going forward in the future. So there's a couple of minor and major issues that I think really influence this and really create this perception that there is forced positivity when it comes to these Nintendo channels. And I guess I'll just speak for us when it comes to Switch Force. And we'll go from smallest to largest. The first one, and it's a little one, is that there is a decent amount of forced positivity in YouTube gaming. That's just like a blunt fact. And there are channels that definitely overhype everything they play. They're overzealous in every video. And I'm not even saying that that's a wrong or a bad thing because, hey, you're trying to be an entertainer. It's entertaining to be excited. It's entertaining to be hyped. It's entertaining to be happy. And you want to wrap up your audience. And what better way than to get the emotion flowing? So I'm not even saying that it's something that is wrong. I'm just saying that it's out there. And so I think when you see that, and when you're aware of that, maybe you start to believe that it's everywhere. The second one would be that Nintendo has a unique situation where their platform has far less games than the others. So there are less games to cover, and the biggest games to cover all come from the platform holder, Nintendo. They also have a heavier lineup of exclusives than most other platforms or all other platforms, and they're usually really, really good. So you shrink the numbers and you increase the emphasis on the first party, and there you are left with a lot of really quality titles that are going to dominate the space and the time on these YouTube channels. But those are the two small ones. I'll set those aside. I just wanted to point them out. I think now we get into the real crux of the issue. And the first one is, how do you deal with the perception of forced positivity when you cover what you want to play and what you like? Now, I've never claimed that Switch Force is supposed to be a worldly review channel that covers every game and makes sure that you're going to have a score for every single title released on Switch. We definitely do try to do some reviews, and we definitely do try to give you feedback on things that we've played, whether in the form of Comment Force formerly, or on live streams, or on Twitter, or even just in daily videos that we make, anecdotes here or there. But it might seem skewed to you because more often than not, we are discussing, covering, recording, and playing the games that we enjoy. Because we're not obliged to a magazine or to a specific review site where we need to cover everything, we often cover the things that we enjoy and the things that we like. And therefore, you're going to see us be positive about the things that we enjoy and the things that we like. You'll notice that games like Fire Emblem Warriors and Kirby didn't get much coverage on our channel. It wasn't because we ran out of time. It wasn't because we didn't want to. It's because we didn't really enjoy those games, and it's slightly awkward to make videos when you're not all that interested. Yes, we can cover them, and we usually do pre-release, but post-launch, should we be playing games that we're not really into, or should we focus our coverage and our content on things that we enjoy and that we're hyped for? The issue here is that when we do that, when we talk about the Celestes, the Mario Tennis Aces, the Splatoon 2s, it seems like we love everything that we play. And maybe the better way to frame that is that we play what we love. And I think they're very different, but they appear very similar to you, the viewer. So we are playing other indie games that we don't like at all, that came out and aren't good at all. And often we'll give you sort of our just first take in the new game release videos, or when we hear about some announcements or a direct happens, we'll give you like our quick take of like, that doesn't really look like it's for me, or ooh, that one kind of looks like a mobile game, or oh wow, like gosh, I'm not putting $30 into that, it doesn't look worth it. And often we let those be. We leave them alone. We don't really cover them. We don't really play them. And maybe we should. Maybe we should play more games that we're not going to like. Maybe we should play more games that have negative connotations so that you see a more balanced picture. In fact, there are games that we are excited for. They come out, we try them and we choose not to cover them because it just did not click. And maybe that is a fault on our part. Maybe we should still be covering those games. And we do try to mention, like I said, from time to time, like, hey, I'd stay away from this, or ooh, this really didn't turn out how we wanted, or like I was pumped at the direct, but then I played it and like, yikes. And that leads into the fourth and final issue here, which is that negativity, it isn't received all that well on YouTube. Criticism, critique, and a negative opinion, these things are not met with happy comments. And I think after a while, you subconsciously and also consciously decide to pull back from that type of content. Because especially with Nintendo, given their unique scenario, given how they do things a little bit differently, a lot of people feel like you're either with them or you're against them. Either you're way too hyped and everything they do, you're splooging over, or you're worrisome and you're critical of everything they do. You're dismissive and you don't trust them. And I think that it's hard to achieve a middle ground perception-wise in the eyes of the overall internet. And I would love to do more content where we say, you know what, this game really wasn't for us, or gosh, this was a big disappointment. But that's tricky to do, because even when we mention things that we don't like about games that are great, there's a pack of people or comments that are just all over you. And it's something that can be ignored, but at the same time, the reception is that that's not wanted. And so I'm curious how you feel about that. Do you like negative content? As long as it's obviously with constructive criticism or handled in a respectful and educated manner. I'm not saying just blasting games. That's not something I ever want to do, and I don't know that any channel really should unless it's like a comedy type of sketch. But do you like seeing what not to play? Do you like seeing what not to spend your money on? Do you like seeing what we don't enjoy? And again, it just gets weird because the idea of making videos is usually things that you're enthusiastic about or things that you want to showcase or you want to share. That's kind of how it is for me. Like, I love YouTube because I get to talk, I get to share, I get to express my opinions, my likes, my loves, my dislikes. But usually the dislikes aren't really the things that people want to hear. But maybe that's a misperception on my part, and maybe it is something that is more needed in this community. And I think it's just such an interesting balance, right, of when it comes to a magazine or a website, you expect the full range of scores. But even still, go look at some of those negative reviews. There are individuals who are permanently marked because of a negative review. And I'm not saying that that should be what prevents you from covering things in a critical light, but it is an internet issue, and it's definitely one on YouTube. Negativity is met with more negativity. And sometimes positivity is met with negativity too, so it's not something that can be entirely avoided. But in general, I think the reason that we see comments or complaints about forced positivity is because we cover what we love, we cover what we enjoy, and we've been conditioned to stay away from negative opinions, disappointment, unfortunate outcomes. And let me just be super upfront. We are not paid by Nintendo or asked by Nintendo to do anything. So our views are our views. I see a lot of people say like, oh gosh, Octopath Traveler, he turned around on that. That's weird. Must have been a sponsorship. No, you will know if anything is a paid video, and we're never being paid to say that a game is cool. Nintendo provides review copies. Other companies provide review copies. But I think at this stage in my YouTube career, in my life at 28, doing YouTube for 7 years, I could go buy the game if I wanted to. I could go buy any of the games if I wanted to. And I'm not saying that to brag or be weird. I'm just saying that the forced positivity is not coming from an external source or motivation. I'm here to assuage any fears you might have that you're being lied to or hoodwinked in some way. That's not the case, and it never will be. We're not out here saying we love a game that we don't even like. And we're not out here saying we're super hyped for a game that we're not even excited for. Because I think that's the ultimate worry, that you can't trust what's being said. And that's just not what's happening. What is happening is that we highlight the things we really enjoy. And unfortunately, that creates the false perception that we love absolutely everything, when in reality, we just cover what we do love. It's also just way more natural to cover the things that you're excited about and interested in. When there's a cool rumor and you're like, oh my God, that would be so amazing if that happened. Or if there's a really good direct and you're like, whoa, the fall is looking so great now. Or there's this awesome game like Octopath Traveler you don't think you're gonna like and then you do, like, you wanna share that. I think there's less of a flow when it comes to finding something that you don't like and wanting to share that. And so it has to be handled delicately and constructively, and maybe in a way that there's still a purpose and a reason besides just saying like, I don't like this. And that's something that we're definitely exploring with our channel. And it's something I'd love to hear from you, how you feel. Do you like and want more negative content, more things that sort of highlight, I guess, the underbelly of the Switch library, the games we don't like, the ones that we do pass over when it comes to choosing what we create content on, the games that disappoint us? Can you handle a difference in opinions, and do you appreciate that kind of constructive criticism, or maybe that alert, or maybe that opinion that, hey, this wasn't for us, maybe you want to hold off? Because when everyone is positive about something, it's usually all thumbs up. But as soon as you start to criticize something, especially if it involves a character or franchise that is beloved in any way, which Nintendo is just full of, right? At every turn. You can't really find a game that Nintendo makes that doesn't have some real, true, loving, intense fan base. So it becomes a bit nerve-wracking to go into that fray. But would you like that? Is that something you enjoy, or do you just say, hey, I want to see what you guys love, share with us what you're having fun with, and leave it there? I genuinely want to know, because I'm not sure how you feel, and it's something that I think about a lot. And the more I see forced positivity, I wanted to address it, because it really isn't forced positivity. It is perceived positivity because we cover what we love. And like I said, I don't think it's that everything we play we love. We just play what we love. And there is really sort of the crux of this entire video. But definitely let me know your take in the comments down below. I think it's a real interesting mix, and I do think there is some responsibility for us as creators, as more and more gamers look to YouTube for their reviews, for their ideas, for their opinions, to have both sides of the equation. But sometimes it's tricky, because it's usually met with a lot of anger. And it's something that I want to tackle in a good way and make headway and figure out a way to be a positive negative, if that makes sense. To like do it the right way so that we're including that coverage, but it's not perceived or received in some yucky, angry, fighting, divisive way. On a personal level, I really believe in positivity. I believe in positive interactions to help fuel happiness and a better life. And there's so much negativity and chaos out there that I often find myself gravitating towards the videos, towards the games, towards the content that is upbeat and is positive. And it's not because it's forced, it's just because you're choosing to highlight that section of your life, or that section of your gaming time, or that section of what's available on Switch. So thanks so much for watching, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was a little bit of a different, interesting take on something that we don't really discuss that often. We're usually focused on the news and Nintendo and games, but hey, here's a little behind the scenes and maybe a more community type topic. Let me know if you enjoyed the video, and let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below. I'm gonna get back to Octopath, really loving that one. So until next time, everybody, thanks again for watching. Switch Force,